Welcome. Today, we are going to reflect on one of the things that destroyed human relationship. One of the things that are threatening the unity and the stability of the church. On envy and jealousy. That is what I mean. And that is a virus. And it's eating deep into the marrow of the church and the society. Envy, jealousy is a disease which, if we are not careful, it may end up ruining what we have labored for. Envy and jealousy has destroyed so many families. So many relationships today have broken or is at the verge of breaking because of envy and jealousy. Let me remind me before we continue with this reflection. Remember the story of Joseph and his brothers. Why was Joseph sold? They wanted to even kill him. If not for one of his brothers that intervened, that instead of what do we gain by killing him? Is it not better we send him to the Ishmaelites? And they sold their brother. Why? Because he shared his dream with them. Joseph shared his dream with his brothers. And they became jealous. They became envious of him. And they were determined to kill him. Which they did. They sold him, which is as good as killing him. Selling him is as good as eliminating him. And they thought by killing him, they would have succeeded in killing his vision, in killing his dream. So in 1 Corinthians, that is St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians, St. Paul described the envious and the jealous ones as those who live natural life, those who live on spiritual life. He has already told us what makes one spiritual. And envy is one of the things that reduces a person to a mere carnal being, a natural being. But when you are in the spirit and you are living the spirit life, you need to avoid envy. If you want to be a spiritual person, you have nothing to do with envy and jealousy. So what does the Bible say about envy? What are the negative effects of envy and jealousy? And is there any way we can avoid it? Is there any way we can rid ourselves of envy and jealousy? The first thing you need to know about envy and jealousy is against the commandment of God. And envy is what leads to covetousness. When you are envious of somebody, jealous of somebody, you want to convert, you want to collect, you want to inherit, take away what, you are not contented with the one you have. So that's why Exodus chapter 20, verse 17, one of the commandments, in fact, the 9th and the 10th commandment declares, you shall not convert your neighbor's wife. You shall not convert your neighbor's house, your neighbor's male child, male servant, Okay, even the female servant, you shall not covet his donkey or any of his property. When you are jealous of your neighbor's progress, that is when you try to covet. That is when you try to steal. Okay? So, and that's why it's one of the commandments of God. It's against the commandment of God. Now, another thing you need to know is that jealousy, the Song of Songs, chapter 8, verse 6, describe jealousy as fierce as grave. That is how he describes it. That is how he defines jealousy. Now listen to this. He says, set me as a seal upon my heart, as a seal upon your arm. For love is strong as death. Love is strong as death. Jealousy is fierce as the grave. Jealousy is as fierce as the grave. Its flashes are flashes of fire, the very flame of the Lord. Jealousy is as fierce as the grave. And then Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 4. A man's envy of his neighbor. He said, then I saw that all toil and all skill in work come from a man's envy of his neighbor. You see, envy. Most of the things we do, consciously or unconsciously, is propelled by envy. You see somebody riding a nice car, you are envious of that person. You saw somebody succeeding in his ministry, you are envious of that person. Okay? You want to outshine the person. Share, share. Don't be surprised. All this share you are hearing in the social media is because of envy. Because when they now compare themselves with others, or they want to outshine others. So that's why the book of Ecclesiastes say all these things we are doing, you know, they are motivated by envy. Man's envy of his neighbor. If you are not envious, you'll be contented. Even if you have few members, you'll be contented with what you have. And let me leave this with you. The happy ones are not actually those who got what they want. I repeat, the happy ones are not those who got what they want, but those who cherish what they have. These are the happy ones. So if you are contented with what you have and with who you are, you will not be comparing yourself with others. There is so much competition going on amongst men of God. And they don't know that they are envious. The war that is going on right now, they want to run themselves down. Someone will say something, the other one will come and counteract it. Someone will even come out boldly on the air to say, I'm the one, I have more members than you. Or these are all inspired by envy and jealousy. And it's deadly. People can kill because of envy and jealous. So that's why the author of the book of Ecclesiastes said, 4 verse 4, Ecclesiastes 4 verse 4, it says, I saw that all toil and all skill in work come from man's envy of his neighbor. All the work we are doing, directly or indirectly, we may not say it. It comes from envy. This also is vanity and a striving after wind. Somebody has built a church. You want to build a church. Somebody has bought a car. You want to buy your own car. Even when you don't need that car. Somebody has gotten married. You are always crying. You have not gotten married. Be contented with what you have and who you are. That is the only way you can find peace. That is the only way you can find inner peace, inner joy. But if you keep comparing yourself with people, you will never find peace. You will continue to act based on envy and jealous. Proverbs chapter 27 verse 4. Wrath is cruel. Anger is overwhelming. But who can stand before jealousy? Who can stand before jealousy? So jealousy is worse than wrath. Jealousy is worse than anger. You see, wrath is cruel, yes. Anger is overwhelming, of course. But who can stand jealousy? That means this is serious. What we are dealing here is a very serious matter. Okay? It's a very serious matter. An envious person can kill at any time. Do you know that some people have killed other people's husbands in order to inherit their wives? Have you not heard the story of David? David was envious of Uriah because the wife was so beautiful. And he killed him, married the wife. We are seeing things like that happening in our society. Do not convert your neighbor's wife. It's envy. All these things, what leads to them is envy. Psalm 37 verse 1 to 10. Listen to this advice. Listen to this advice. Psalm 37 1 to 40. Do not flirt yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass. They will fade away like grass, and they will wither like the green herb. Do not envy evildoers. Don't envy them. You see, a ritualist, because he's riding a fancy car, you are envying him. Do you know the kind of sacrifice he made before he was able to buy that? If you are asked to sacrifice your family members, will you? Don't envy them. Everything boils down to being contented. Somebody who is contented can never be envious of others' gift. If you know you have enough on your plate, why should you envy others who have little? Proverbs chapter 3 verse 31. Do not envy a man of violence. Listen, he says, do not envy a man of violence, and do not choose any of his ways. The ways of violent man, there is nothing good. Nothing good can come from a violent one. So why should you envy him? And that's why Job chapter 5 verse 2 says, jealousy slays the simple. Look at how he put it. Surely vexation kills the fool. Vexation, anger, unnecessary vexation kills the fool. But jealousy slays the simple. You may claim to be simple, you may claim to be holy, but if you are jealousy will slay you, to kill you, will slaughter you. So, a holy person that is envious is worse than an angry person. No matter how holy you are, if you are jealous of other people's progress, other people's success, my dear, you are worse. Envy cannot stop God's blessing. Let me go back to the story of Joseph. And Acts of the Apostle chapter 7 verse 9 to 10. Acts of the Apostle chapter 7, 9 to 10 reminded us that the patriarchs, that is the brothers of Joseph, out of envy, they sold Joseph into Egypt. You see now, that family is now known as an envious family. So much so that their case, their matter, entered the New Testament. What their envious heart was in the Old Testament, but their matter became a matter arising. Matter arising in the New Testament. Acts of the Apostle, chapter 7, verse 9 to 10, mention the case of Joseph's family, that envious family. He said, our patriarchs become out of envy, sold Joseph into Egypt. But God was with him. God was with Joseph, and God delivered him out of all his troubles and gave him favor, wisdom in the presence of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he made him governor over Egypt and over all his house. You see now, no amount of envy can stop God's blessing. You are only wasting your time. If you are envious of somebody, that does not mean that that person will not succeed. That does not mean that that person, you can stop him. You cannot stop him. Joseph's brothers, did they succeed in stopping him? No. They tried. They tried. But God favored him. So when you are the more envious you are with people, the more divinely blessed and divinely connected they will become. Now, listen to what James has to say about envy. Where can we find disorderliness? Where does envy reside? See how James put it. James chapter 3 verse 16. For where jealous and selfish ambition exist, there with disorder and every evil practices exist. Wherever you find jealousy, wherever you find selfish ambition, that is where you find disorder, disorderliness, chaos. Okay? So, that is it. There is no peace, no order where there is jealousy. There is no peace, no peace. Now, and that's why St. Paul decided to advise us in Galatians chapter 5 verse 26. Since we cannot find peace where there is jealousy, St. Paul now advises us, let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another. Let us try to avoid it. Let us not be conceited, provoking one another and envying one another. It also makes sense. Okay? Look at the Jews in their relationship with Jesus Christ. You remember what the Jews did? Even the early apostles, the Jews were jealous. The reason why they crucified Jesus Christ is it not out of jealousy? Each time they keep asking, where did this man get all this? Is this not the carpenter's son? And so on, and so forth, and so what? Even if it's carpenter's son, who says a carpenter's son cannot succeed in life? Now, in Acts of the Apostle chapter 13 verse 45, we were told that that same envy and jealousy they have for Jesus Christ, they transferred it to the early disciples. Acts chapter 13 verse 45. But when the Jews saw the crowds, they were filled with jealousy, and they began to contradict what was spoken by Paul, and they were reviling him. They contradicted what was spoken by St. Paul. When they saw the crowd, just like what is happening in the church today, when they saw that, when they see you are doing well, nobody will envy you. There is something they must have seen. It's either they see your progress, or they see the crowd, or they see your success. There is something provoke envy. People will not envy you until they see something special in you. The moment they sense that thing that is special, then the envy will begin. And they can do anything. They can go at any length to stop you, to fight you. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 17 to 18. Proverbs 23, 17 to 18. Don't envy sinners. Let not your heart envy sinners, but continue in the fear of the Lord all the day. Surely there is future, and your hope will not be cut off. Your hope will not be cut off. There is future. If you can avoid envying one another, your own is coming. Your own, everybody has his own blessing. Every one of us. God did not create us with empty-handed. He's only asking you, be contented. Don't envy others. Don't even envy the sinners. Okay? Don't envy anybody. Kenjika, the one you have is greater. Okay? Be contented with the one you have. Now, in Philippians chapter 2, verse 3. But before then, I'm coming back to Philippians chapter 2, verse 3. You remember the story of the prodigal son in Luke chapter 15. There is only one person that was not happy with the return of the prodigal son. And who was that? Every other person was happy that this young man who was lost has come back to the father. The neighbors were celebrating, the servants were celebrating, the father himself was celebrating, but there was only one person that was not happy. And who was that? Why was he not happy? Why do you think he was not happy? And he refused to enter the house. Why? Do you see what I'm telling you? When you talk about household enmity, the root of household enmity is envy, jealousy. And he did not even hide it. He expressed it. I have been with you all these years. I have been working with you. I have never offended you. Yet, you have never organized. If you have never organized any party for me and my friends, and look at this wretched son of yours, after scandalizing your wealth, now coming back, you now have killed the fatted. You know, he got angry. So imagine that. And that is how most of us behave. What's the difference between the way this guy behaves and the way most of us behave? When somebody is praised, you are angry. My dear, you are possessed. Anytime somebody is being praised and you are uncomfortable, you are not happy, my dear, you are possessed. And ask me of what? Envy and jealous. I will not even waste time to tell you. You don't need anybody to tell you. Whenever somebody is being praised and deep within you, you may not say it out, but you know you are not happy. You are not comfortable. You may, or maybe somebody is telling you story, success story, somebody's success story, and you want to change the story. That means envy has entered. Envy can enter anytime. It's for you to be conscious of it. Problem known is problem solved. Problem known is problem solved. You can get rid of it. The brother did not celebrate with his brother. He did not even consider that this is my brother who was lost. My brother who had just come back. But he was thinking of his own selfish interest. Selfishness and envy, they go together. Self-centeredness. Because when you are envious of other people, you are only interested in your own well-being. You are only interested, wishing that what the good that happened to others should happen to you, only you. How is not possible now? God is not like that. That is not how God operates. Okay? So 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 1. Remember, any advice that is coming from Peter is an advice coming from the Pope. Okay? This is advice from the Vatican City, from the Pope, because Peter was the first Pope. Listen to him. Peter said, so put away all malice and all deceit and hypocrisy and envy and all slander. Put them away. Get rid of them. They don't fit you. They are not. Get rid of them. Put them away. You can avoid them. Avoid them. Ask God to deliver you from envy, from malice, from deceit. These things they are the things that are blocking your prayer life. Are you aware? Are you aware that envy can block your prayer life? Are you aware that envy can even stop you from growing? Are you aware that envy can even scare people away from you? You want to possess, you want to, and that thing, you will not get it. Envy can even make you lose a lot of people. You are envious. You just want to be the only one. Before you know it, you will lose. You will lose. And then, what is the way forward? Please, can you ask me what is the way forward? Because from this reflection now, we have come to discover the negative impact of envy. And if you are telling yourself the truth, if this message is sinking down the way it should be, you must have felt envy at one point in time. Even me that is preaching to you, even me at one point in time or the other, I have been envious. Envy is something that is natural. You see, they say to sin is human, but to forgive is divine. Every human being can be envious or has been envious at one point in time or another. What you are envious of may not be what I'm envious of. Who you are envious of may not be the one I'm envious of. But all of us, we are guilty. We are guilty directly or indirectly. So ask me again, what is the way forward? Now that we know that all of us are envious and all of us have been guilty of this sin of envy and jealousy. Now the way forward is Philippians chapter 2 verse 3. That is the only way forward. And what is that? Count others to be better than you. St. Paul wrote in Philippians chapter 2 verse 3. Do nothing from selfish ambition. Do nothing. Don't have any selfish ambition. Don't have any ulterior motive. Whatever you are doing, do it without any selfish ambition. Okay? But in humility, count others to be more significant than yourself. In humility, count others to be better than you. Is this something that is possible? Look at the way you talk at times. Even we who are preaching, if you listen to me critically, you discover that from my preaching or from our preaching, at times we try to give impression that we are better than others. That we are the one that knows it all. It's natural, but we should be conscious of it and work against it. Count others, consider others to be better than you. That is the only way you can avoid this problem of jealousy. No matter how holy you are, don't see yourself. Hey, the reason why they are envying me is because I have crowd. But the reason why they are attacking me, who says who? You may have crowd, but do you have God? You may have crowd, but do you have kingdom? Have you gotten the key to God's kingdom? Have you gotten the certificate to heaven? That is what most matters. Seek ye the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Every other thing will be added unto you. Count others to be better than you. And don't do anything out of selfish ambition. Okay? May God deliver us from the spirit of envy. And don't forget to be contented with what you have. Be contented with who you are and be contented with what you have. Count others to be better than you. If you can do this, you will not have problem with envy and jealousy. Once again, may God deliver us from the spirit of envy and jealousy. May he grant us this spirit of contentment and love for other people's gift and talent. Jesus, I trust in you.